I just want to make a short video about 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Now this is the starter set. For a bit of context, I started here in the very early 80s and I played 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons at university, and I played 3rd edition very briefly, and 5th edition is the only other edition I've played. I really like the 4th edition inspired board games, Castle Ravenloft, Wrath of Asheldon and Legends of Drizzt, that's how I'm saying it. But 5th edition, I've been playing this for the past few months, and I think it's brilliant. This is the starter set from a few years ago, and you get the rulebook. There are no character generation rules, but because of that it gets straight into the meat and potatoes of the system, and I found this rulebook absolutely brilliant for just setting out what 5th edition is all about and how the rules work, because it just gets totally just stuck into it. You get a set of dice. Loads of people have done unboxings of this, I'm sorry, but you don't get 2d10s, but you know, hey, what are you going to do? To do a percentage, your first roll is your 10s, your second roll is your units. 41. That wasn't so difficult, was it? But you know, these people have criticised these dice, but I think they're quite nice. And you get the Lost Mine of Phandelver, which is quite a weighty, I'll just knock the camera again, shall I? Quite a weighty adventure, really. There's plenty in there. Great artwork throughout. And finally, you get some pre-generated characters. And comparing this to 3rd edition, it's so much neater. Just the skills just fitted into here. It's just great. You know, it just tidies things up. And on the back you've got your backgrounds and things and other information like that. But I just really like how the skills are so tidy. And unfortunately, you get a waste of space. But hey, that's the way it is. But as I say, really, really good rulebook. I really like that. I really like the way it's explained. Brilliant. And then we come to this, and there are loads of unboxings of this on the internet. But hey, the cards, very nice idea. Quests, magic items, sidekicks, condition cards, combat summaries of the rules, and your initiative cards, which you can hand out to keep track of everybody. A really nice idea. I didn't borrow that idea from this, but I borrowed it from something else, which I've now forgotten, to create some spell cards for my upcoming group adventure. Yeah, I think I got the spell cards idea from Hero Quest actually. But plenty of dice for this one, 4d6s, 2d20s for character creation and advantage respectively. Nice shiny red gem dice. I like red gem dice, I have no problem with that. Dungeon Master screen. What I really like about this is setting a DC. Very easy 5, easy 10, moderate 15, hard 20, very hard 25, nearly impossible 30. I'm sorry the light is so bad. We've discussed why that is before. Energy saving light bulbs. Let's get back in focus. You also get a map of the Sword Coast. Now, my one slight gripe with this is that the paper is very thin and very fragile, and I had to use a bit of sellotape to hold up a minor tear across here. It's a very nice looking map. Obviously the materials are a bit budget paper wise in order to save money, because I saw this on Amazon for £16 at one point. I didn't unfortunately I didn't pounce on it at the time. You get a nice thick adventure. Dragon of Ice, Spire Peak, loads of stuff going on in there. Great artwork throughout, as you might expect, and the Essentials Kit Rulebook. All the rules you need for levels 1 to 6, including character creation, and you get a load of blank character sheets which you can photocopy at your leisure, or you can just print copies off from Wizards of the Coast website. And there is no space saver. Everything is taken up by stuff, not space savers. And heaven help me, for the reason of running a group game, I've been painting some miniatures. So I hope to record something from that, probably the audio, and put some visuals together, and we might have a playthrough of that. We shall see. But here we have a Dwarf Cleric, and the thing I like about this, you have your personality traits, your ideals, your bonds, your flaws, all nice little things to spark your imagination when it comes to role-playing. And in these pre-generating characters, they're already there, or the ones you can download from, for instance, the Digital Dungeon Master or wherever, and or you can pick them from the Player's Handbook or roll them on a die to determine them randomly. Now, one thing I've noticed with the Essentials set, there are about 33 monsters, and they are covered in the back of this book. So I was looking up the stats for a kobold, and there aren't any. So that might be something you want to bear in mind. So you do not get a monster manual in here. You get, I will flip through it, and I will zoom out before I do. This includes some of the NPCs from the adventure. So you get quite a few blights. Centaur. What NPCs? A ghoul. Sorry for the glare. You're not overburdened with monsters. Let's just say that. The page is very shiny, so you've got your orcs. I just like kobolds, so I would have liked a kobold. So that's all you get in the Essentials kit, monster-wise. It's not a great deal. So as I don't have the monster manual for 5th edition, I will rely on my monster manual for 3rd edition, and we have kobolds in here, and we'll just hope we don't have to have a fight with it, because what I want to do is intimidate it into giving me information, because I know that a colleague of mine has been kidnapped by this nefarious building, this guild, and I want to interrogate this kobold and find out what's been going on. So I have an intimidation of +3. I'm going to say that the intimidation of a tiny kobold by a vicious Dwarf Cleric is easy. I'm going to give it a 10. So I'm rolling for a 10 with a +3. And I get a 14. So the terrified kobold tells me that my colleague who has been kidnapped by this guild is indeed beyond this door at some point, and I'm going to advise him to make himself scarce. And we do have goblins, so that's something to work with. I mean, it's not exactly dragon roar when it comes to a lack of monsters, but yeah, just missing kobolds hurt me a little inside. So we have our 2 goblins here, and I'm going to have to decide how to approach this, because my colleague clearly isn't in this room, as I can see from this door, and I need to get through somehow, either by fighting or by negotiation. If I can have focus. Whoa. That's better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and convince them that I'm part of this nefarious league which has kidnapped my colleague, and I'm going to charge him with all bravado and say, "Thank goodness and well done for capturing this miscreant for our lord and master, and I've come to take him away to I've come to interrogate him. So if you just let me through, and I'll get all the information that our Lord and Master needs, and then that will be fine." So we'll see if that is convincing enough. I'm going to say that is... it's going to be hard, isn't it? It's going to be hard to convince these goblins, but they are quite stupid. So I think I'm going to give it a 15. Why not? I will use his performance skill, which is +1. Or persuasion. They're both +1, so we're heading for a 15. And we get a 1, so that's dreadful. So they immediately attack, obviously. So, yeah. It was so bad that they, initiative is out the window. They're just going to attack me. And the first goblin is going to roll. He gets a +4 to hit. It says here. Yeah, +4 to hit. My armor class of 18. And a 2 is not going to do it. The other goblin, similarly incensed, attacks. He gets +4. And he doesn't make it, which is great. He rolls a 10. So, now is my turn to retaliate against these very angry goblins. Now I get a +4 to hit their armor class of 15, which seems very high to me. Oh god. I miss. And now the goblins attack with their own +4 for my 18. That's a miss. 2, that's a miss. Again I attack. That's a miss. And they attack. That's a fumble from himself. He'll miss the next turn, let's say. And that's a hit from this guy here. He rolls a 1d6 +2, which is a 4. He does me 4 points of damage. So I get the chance to attack again. 12. I've forgotten what my bonus is now. 16. That is a hit to himself. And my damage is 1d8 +2 for my warhammer. 8, 9. And the goblin's hit points are 7. He's done. He misses his turn. Now, as he is prone, I'm going to try again, persuading him we're using my intimidation this time, +3. And as it is in a bit of a state, I'm going to give it a difficulty class of 10. And I'm going to say, let me through the door, tell me what I need to know, or I will smash your face. I think that's enough. So the goblin says, yes, the captive is through here. Good luck with that. I'm off. And we've not got a null either. So I'm going to go with a hobgoblin for the boss, because we've got one of those. So I'll use another goblin miniature. Here he is. And this hobgoblin is fairly tough. So I'm going to say, I will give you 10 gold pieces if you will let my friend free. And I will use persuasion with that, which unfortunately is just a +1. I'm going to say moderate, 15. Not enough. The hobgoblin is not convinced. We're going to get down to some serious fighting now. My dexterity is -1. It's not good. His is +1. So this is his initiative, +1. 20. I'm not going to beat that, am I? No. So he gets to make his move first. He moves 30 feet, so 5, 10, 15, 20, yeah, he makes it. And he attacks first with his plus, what is it? What's his attack? +3 to hit. Okay. And he's aiming for my armor class of 18. 7's not going to do it. I'm going to attack his armor class 18. Chainmail and shield. I get a +4. Trying to get an 18. It's ridiculous. 7, that's not going to do it. He makes his roll. Nope. 14 +4. 18. That's the stuff. Right, +8 +2 damage. Okay, 6 damage. He is down to some hit points. 5. Okay. Now he gets his attack with his +3. Thankfully, it's only a 3. I attack with my +4, trying to get his 18. Not quite. He goes for his +3. Not enough. +4 for me. Oh gosh. 18 +3. 15. Not enough. I get +4. That's the spirit. So I roll my damage dice twice, which is a d8. 4, 5, 6. And I add my +2. 7, 8. And that beats his hit points remaining of 5. So I defeat the hobgoblin boss. So I can get the key from the hobgoblin and unlock the door to rescue my spellcasting colleague here, and we can live to fight another day. So basically you get pre-generated characters and a brilliant explanation of the rules. A very solid looking adventure, nice thick adventure book. A set of dice without 2 percentile dice, but you just roll the d10 twice, it's no great deal. There is a cardboard space saver about that thick, which isn't great. In here you get loads of dice, 4d6s, 2d20s, all the other dice you'd usually expect, a nice big adventure again, a nice big map, a Dungeon Master's screen, which is very useful, a big set of cards with your things we discussed, but also the sidekicks, which are very useful for low player count games, including Solo. So they're both pretty neat. I mean, as starter sets go, they are really good. If you want to get into 5th edition, either of these would be good. You can get them really cheap. I saw this on Amazon a few weeks ago for £16, and it's gone up a little bit since then. But you can find them at good prices, and they are both useful sets. But yeah, if you're into 5th edition and or you're interested and you don't want to pay lots of money for one of these, then you can download the basic D&D rules for free from Wizards of the Coast, or if you want something to hold in your hand, these are a pretty good bet. They're very good value. That some of the materials are perhaps feel a little cheap, but that's the reason why they're such good value. I think Wizards of the Coast has done brilliantly in creating both of these. I'm not intending to get the Dungeon Master's Guide or the Monster Manual, because I don't intend running this seriously, but these are both really, really good sets. The Essentials Kit and the Starter Set, I think. Anyway, I've shown you a little bit about what they have, along with many other videos on YouTube that have shown you. But surely those other videos didn't have such a badly painted dwarf going through a very small adventure. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for all the subscribers who have subscribed. It's great to see you all subscribing. So thank you very much for being there, and thanks a lot for watching.